It's 50 random facts time, from your powerful Google searches to what your brain does when it's bored. And what was the most used Twitter password? Stick around to find out. A single Google search uses more computing power than NASA needed to send Apollo 11 to the moon. So every time you search Cat in a Hat remix, just remember, you're flexing more tech than a moon mission. When the US introduced minimum wage in 1938, it was 25 cents an hour, about $4.50 today. Back then, that could actually buy lunch. Now it's barely enough for a vending machine lunch. Inflation's got hands. If your eyes were as sharp as the Hubble Space Telescope, you could read a newspaper from over a mile away. That's roughly 1.6 kilometers, meaning stargazing would feel more like eavesdropping on the Cosmos classified ads. In 2024, the US hit a millionaire milestone, roughly 22 million, more than doubling in the past decade. That's nearly 1 in every 12 adult Americans. Wealth may be uneven, but it's clearly trending upward, like this video. Sushi was traditionally finger food, meant to be eaten with your hands. Sashimi, on the other hand, is eaten with chopsticks. So next time you're judged at dinner, just say you're following centuries of culinary tradition. A 2013 study from the University of Bristol found that people with a specific gene, ABCC11, don't produce underarm odor. Around 75% of East Asians have it. So yes, some folks naturally never need deodorant. Evolution is playing favorites. In South Carolina, first-time domestic abusers can face up to 30 days in jail. But abuse a dog? That's a potential 5-year sentence. Apparently, hurting animals carries a heavier penalty than hurting humans. Justice with fur, not feelings. Missy the cow, valued at $1.2 million, produces 50% more milk than average and has elite dairy genetics. She's basically the Beyoncé of bovines. Beautiful, productive, and genetically gifted. Dairy farms don't just raise cows, they breed superstars. India celebrates Children's Day on November 14th, the birthday of its first Prime Minister, Jawaharlal Nehru. Coincidentally, or not, it's exactly 9 months after Valentine's Day. Let's just say, love blooms in February, and babies bloom in November. In 1883, mongooses were introduced to Hawaii to battle rats, but flopped spectacularly. Mongooses hunt by day, rats by night, so they rarely met. Instead, the mongoose population exploded and started eating birds and native species. Oops, predator mismatch. Elvis Presley failed music class in high school. The king of rock and roll was once told he had no ear for music. Apparently, his hips weren't the only thing that defied authority. In Texas, it's technically illegal to carry pliers in your pocket. A bizarre law from the early 1900s meant to prevent fence cutting. Today, it's a legal relic that says, don't mess with Texas or their barbed wire. On April 1st, 2017, Japan officially recognized Bitcoin as legal tender, but not a formal currency. You could buy a meal or gadgets with it, but don't try paying taxes in crypto. It's legit, but only halfway into the system. Over 70% of all train journeys in the UK either begin or end in London. Whether it's for business, tourism, or escaping drizzle, the capital is Britain's undisputed rail magnet, pulling commuters in, like tea pulls Brits to kettles. Great ideas often strike during boring tasks like showering, walking, or driving. That's because your brain relaxes, dopamine flows, and creativity sneaks in. So yes, spacing out in traffic might be your brain's version of a TED Talk. Night vision goggles glow green because our eyes detect more shades of green than any other color. It's not just alien aesthetic, it's optical efficiency. Turns out the matrix-like tint is evolution-approved for seeing things that go bump. Iquitos, Peru, home to over 470,000 residents, is the world's largest city unreachable by road. You can't drive in or out, only fly or float there. It's civilization deep in the Amazon, with traffic-free charm and riverboats instead of highways. In 2007, a Bosnian couple fell in love online, while secretly cheating on each other. When they met their mysterious soulmate, it turned out they'd been chatting to their own spouse. They divorced, citing betrayal. Irony filed for emotional damage. In Japan, hikikomori is a social condition where over 1 million people, mostly men, retreat into total isolation, often for years. They stay in their rooms, avoiding work or school and social contact. It's loneliness turned inward and locked behind closed doors. Some countries, like England, Germany, Finland, and the US, have playground for seniors. Designed to boost balance, flexibility, and fun, these parks prove you're never too old to climb, swing, or wobble your way to better health. Retirement just got fun. A cheetah can rocket to 64 kilometers per hour in just 3 strides and hit 97 kilometers per hour in 3 seconds. That's faster than most sports cars. Nature basically built a living, purring, predator-shaped missile on legs. Studies show women are more attracted to men in red. The color signals power, dominance, and high status. Think red carpets, royalty, and stop signs. So yes, your red shirt might actually be doing the flirting for you. When 2 lovers gaze into each other's eyes, their heartbeats can sync within minutes. Science says it's real romantic biofeedback in action. Love isn't just in the air, it's quietly tapping out Morse code inside your chest. 15 countries, including Costa Rica, Liechtenstein, and Samoa, have no standing military. They rely on allies for defense and invest in education, diplomacy, or tourism instead. Turns out peace can be a policy, not just a hope. A 2009 study found most female cats are right-pawed, while males lean left. The difference might be linked to testosterone. So next time your cat swipes something off a shelf, yes, science says there's a preference based on gender. Baby carrots aren't tiny prodigies. They're regular carrots carved down to bite-sized cuteness. Invented in the 1980s to reduce waste, they've fooled snackers ever since. So next time you eat one, remember, it's just an adult in disguise. Cats have a built-in air-riding reflex, twisting mid-fall to land on their feet. Their flexible spine and instinctive acrobatics let them survive falls from insane heights. Basically, cats are furry little ninjas with a zero-regret attitude. Base jumping isn't just a daredevil sport. It's an acronym. Building antenna, span like bridges, and earth like cliffs. That's every place you're not supposed to leap off, unless your parachute game is strong and your fear of heights is non-existent. Saturn's rings stretch a whopping 290,000 kilometers wide, nearly 3/4 the distance from Earth to the Moon. But they're razor thin, just 10 meters to under a kilometer thick. It's like wearing a wedding ring the size of Texas and paper thin. In 2014, the Philippines clocked Southeast Asia's slowest internet speed, just 3.5 megabits per second. Meanwhile, nearby Singapore cruised at 65 megabits per second. So while one nation streamed in Ultra HD, the other barely loaded cat videos. Geography doesn't always guarantee digital equality. The praying mantis is one of the few insects that can rotate its head 180 degrees. With 2 compound eyes and 3 simple ones, it scans its world like a tiny, leaf-shaped surveillance drone with attitude. Regular exercise doesn't just sculpt muscles. It boosts focus, happiness, and energy for hours. Even a brisk walk can help your brain fire on all cylinders. It's the closest thing we've got to a legal productivity drug. A British company called Rent-A-Mourner lets you hire professional actors to attend your funeral and pretend they knew you. For a fee, you can look heartbreakingly beloved, even if your real social circle couldn't fill a teacup. A 2014 study found night owls are more likely to take risks than early risers. Whether it's gambling, adventurous behavior, or bold decisions, The dark hours spark daring minds. Nighttime isn't just for dreaming, it's for scheming. In 1923, a dog named Bobbie walked over 4,100 kilometers from Indiana to Oregon to reunite with his family. Nicknamed Bobbie the Wonder Dog, he crossed rivers, deserts, and snow, proving loyalty travels farther than most humans would. In 2014, French inventor Christian Poincheval created pills that make your farts smell like roses or chocolate. Yes, they're real. Flatulence, once feared, now fragranced. Who knew dignity could come in capsule form and smell like dessert? Metrophobia is the fear of poetry, yes, poems. Reading, hearing, or writing verse can trigger anxiety. So for some, Shakespeare isn't just confusing, it's terrifying. Roses are red, violets are blue. Rhymes might scare the soul right out of you. Hedgehogs got their name from their habits, snuffling through hedges while foraging and making pig-like grunts. They eat tiny bugs, frogs, and even snakes, basically nature's spiky vacuum cleaner with a piggy soundtrack and zero interest in personal space. FIFA has 211 national teams, more than the 193 United Nations member states. It means more countries compete in football's World Cup qualifiers than have seats at the world's biggest diplomatic table. Sports, uniting nations not even recognized by nations. Some Japanese Buddhist monks practice sokushinbutsu, self-mummification. They ate only bark, seeds, and resin, meditated in a tomb, and rang a bell daily. When the bell stopped, the tomb was sealed. If preserved, they were revered as living Buddhas. Grim enlightenment. Alan Gans has been serving ice cream in Boston since 1947, earning the title of world's longest-serving ice cream man. He knows about 90% of his customers by name. That's not a route. It's a community on wheels. On November 3rd, 1986, jurors in a lawsuit against Otis Elevator Company got stuck in an Otis elevator on their way to court. The irony was so intense, it practically pressed its own stop button. Case closed, awkwardly. New York City property owners can request free street trees through the Parks Department and even suggest the species. It's urban greening on demand. Want a cherry blossom outside your window? The Big Apple might just plant it. People's voices subtly change when they're attracted to someone, often without realizing it. Pitch and tone change, while pace shifts as flirtation slips into the sound waves. So yes, your crush might hear your interest before you even say a word. In June 2016, hackers leaked nearly 33 million Twitter passwords. Over 120,000 people used 123456. That's not a password. It's a cry for help. If your password sounds like a kindergarten math lesson, it's time to change it. Seriously. In 2017, golfers Adam Ralston and Ron Rutland played a single hole across Mongolia, 2,011 kilometers long. It took 82 days, 20,093 strokes, and one horse caddy. The estimated par? A staggering 14,000. Proof that golf and epic quests do mix. Modern roller coasters trace back to 17th century Russia, where thrill-seekers zoomed down icy wooden ramps on straw mats or blocks of ice. No safety bars, just frozen fun and gravity-fueled danger. Turns out adrenaline is older than electricity. In 2013, Chilean scientists created a vaccine that causes an instant hangover when alcohol is consumed. Intended to treat alcoholism, it makes drinking downright miserable. Imagine tequila with a built-in punishment. Now that's tough love in a syringe. In 2013, Venezuela's prisons held nearly 48,000 inmates, despite being built for only 16,500. Overcrowded and often run by inmates themselves, the system buckled under pressure, turning jails into chaotic micro-cities instead of places for justice or reform. The World Health Organization estimates 50% of all medications are misused, either taken incorrectly or not at all. That means half of all prescriptions become pricey dust collectors or dangerous guessing games. Medicine works best when people actually follow directions. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to subscribe so you don't miss next week's video. Or check out the playlist on your screen for more facts. See you next time.